Hey guys, it's Creature Sing here back from CNH Small G again for another informative review video. This is a review video for the following item that I was talking about in the past few videos. It was actually the Red Heat Kit snake receiver rail that basically you put on top of your dust cover. And one of my buddies online wanted me to ask, or I should say he asked me to make a detailed close-up video of what it actually looks like on one of my other guns right here, because I was upgrading the optics, and I sold one of my other optics on here for this gun, and I just want to give you a demonstration of what it actually looks like and what to expect whenever you do buy one of these types of snake rail kit thingamajigs, as they call it here, and what it actually looks like and how they actually fit on top of your dust cover. So what you see right here in the back here is what you have to do originally is to take out your rear leaf sight on here as well too. And let me show you that right here as well too. I hold my camera here quickly. Hold on here, guys. First thing you gotta do is take out your sights for obvious reasons, and here's the old one I had right there, right for these things. Sometimes these things can be a real bitch to get out of there. I don't like telling people that, but that's the case sometimes, because if you got one that's like stuck in there, or if you didn't put any oil in it, and basically this is a DDI sourced gun right here. This is my DDI AK-47U underfuller right here, and they're basically made on Bulgarian surplus milled import parts, like Type 3 clone type of rifles out there for that. And some of these things can be absolutely bitchy to get out of here. You could get a pair of pliers that are really hard to pull them directly out of the actual rear sight block here as well too. And here's the rear sight right here that I took out. So basically what you do is you have to take out your rear ladder sight right here. Then once you take that thing out, you set that aside, and you pull this thing basically out of the sight block right down here. And the best way to do that will be to get a real sharp, or I should say get a real good pair of pliers. Basically these ones right here probably will not cut it. Sometimes you might have to use a hammer to pop that thing out of there. So basically what I would recommend would be to get a pair of pliers that have a really good grip on them right there, and you want to get something like these ones right here, but not as blunt as they have right here. This is basically my cheap and dirty way of taking these things out of here. But after you clamp down on that first portion right here, you want to clamp down really tight on this lip right here. You want to basically pull it straight up out of there. And sometimes you might have to get a hammer and actually tap on the back of your pair of clippers right here. So basically what you want to do is you want to have this, let me see if I can get a better picture here for you guys. I'll just simulate how you normally want to take it out of here. What you want to do is you want to get a pair of adjustable clamps and put it on here like so, and you want to have it grab right on the front of this actual angle piece right here. That's the portion that contacts the back. Oh, let's draw that. I'll get my other one out here for you as well too. This piece right here basically pushes up against the flat piece right here. This flat piece right here contacts and basically situates on top of that. So that's how it situates down the housing right here. This piece is basically pushed down side, and it's basically stuck up like that in the air, and this piece hits against that right there for that. And that's how they put tension on the actual rear sight assembly right there for that. And this is one of my other rear sights I got from one of my other guns here, just to show you for sort of demo purposes only as well right there for. That's the rear adjustable AK-47. It's basically along the line of a we want to call it an RPK style design right there for that. It's specifically set up for your 800 meter on it, as opposed to 1,000 for your typical RPK setups for that. And they are very good for doing that. So the snake rail, I told before in the previous video, they're made by Red Heat Kit. This specific one, I did have to modify it to get it fitted properly on here. It's basically my original Bulgarian recoil spring was not fitting completely. Basically, it wasn't fitting nice and tight in here, I should say. And basically, this thing was moving up and down just a teeny bit on here. Also, the other aspect on here I should mention, they have right on the bottom, I forgot to mention in my video, they have like a little lip or like a little tongue that basically comes out of here on this one piece right here in the middle, and they're originally set up and made for typical AKM, AK-74, and those types of stamped receiver variants. And basically, you do have to modify it sometimes if you have a gun that might not accept it completely and properly for that, like this DDI milled gun right here. Let me go turn my beeper off here for a second, guys. I apologize for that sound, but hold on here. Turn that thing off real quick. That's my beeper for clientele when they come in there. My fault is that they're running a tractor around in the yard. We're testing a machine out there for that, so I apologize for that. So basically, if you get one of these, sometimes you might have to modify them for your specific receiver, as I said before, because the original one I had here, I did have to basically shave. They have like a little tongue area right here that basically is supposed to push tension on the back of the receiver, and mine, what happened was it was actually pushing the receiver, or I should say this piece right here, it was not laying flat against the actual dust cover on there for that, and I had to modify by basically shaving this thing almost completely flat. As I said before, you have a little tongue area right here, and it was pushing down on the back of the receiver right here, and it was not aligning properly. Because if you look at, let me see if I can give you a better picture on the side. If you look at it from the side right here, guys, you can see it has basically no gap. You cannot look through it right there for that at all. It might have a teeny bit of gap right here in the back, but that's typical right there. But the whole thing, it's completely black all along here for that. So basically, you want completely flat against your dust cover on there for that in order for the seat perfectly flat, because you don't want it like sticking up like jacked up in the back and actually having it ride up in the back on some kind of a weird cockeyed angle, because it's not going to have the gun's optics possibly zeroed right. So you have to have this thing flat and flush against your top of your dust cover right here in order for it to line up properly. And mine, the DDI gun I said before, I did have to modify it and had to grind the back portion back here a small amount, as you see right here, because I've told you before, it had a little tongue area that's basically sticking out on the bottom here that actually pushes down. I think it actually catches on your back of your recoil assembly rod here. For mine, it wasn't aligning up properly. This whole thing was basically sticking up just a teeny bit, maybe a few, probably about a couple centimeters on it. It wasn't adequate, so that's why I had to flatten it off. And basically, right now, it's almost perfectly tight on it. It basically will not budge unless you're actually pushing on it quite heavily on her for that. So basically, it's perfectly fine right there for me for doing that. But if you got a stamped AK variant out there, it shouldn't give you any problems, because as I said before, they do have a lot of variants of these receivers, and sometimes you may have to have certain fitment and filing of certain components to get them fitted exactly properly, because no part is going to work on every single gun out there for that. It's a simple fact, and you have to work around there for it. It's sort of like your hand guards on this rifle. The hand guards I got on here originally, they were kind of beat up on her for that, so I swapped them out for another pair of hand guards, and they actually had to be fitted properly because they were actually slightly longer than the typical front on here. I basically had to shave them down on the upper portion right here. I had to shave this whole outside down, maybe about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters on it, get them seated properly, and that's the only way to really fit them on her for that. And these this Russian red heat snake rail, it also has almost like a quasi fake peep sight in the back. I can give you a sight picture of what that thing even looks like too under for that. Because basically, what you can do with this thing is you can have your red dot or some kind of optic on the back here, basically. So you can put your red dot be here and also between these two areas right here. For you got about a 5-inch gap right here for that, so you can put any kind of optic between them. Personally, I mount my red dot all the way up the front. I had a TRS-25 on here. I took it off and I sold a buddy of mine online. I'm getting a new red dot, one of those Primary Arms MD-AS, I believe it's called, off of I think it was on eBay. Got one on used for about $80 on her, because I was going to buy a new one for about $170, so I was get a used one for half the price. But you also have like a backup Quasi rear sight on there as well too. I'll show you what that thing looks like on here for that. You can see it right there. You can get a better zoom in. There we go, guys. It's zoomed in now. you can actually look directly straight on your receiver right here, and you can see it right there. It's almost like a rear, we don't call it fake bow sight, if you want to call it that. This thing can actually line up directly with the front sight on here for that. I never actually used it myself yet for, like, zeroing purposes, because I just took the rear sight off, as I said before, and just put my TRS-25 on here, and I'm in the process of getting another upgraded one as opposed to TRS-25 for that, because the newer one I'm getting, it's, like I said before, it's a primary arms version, and it's a little bit better quality than your typical TRS Bushnell 25. So I'll probably make a video about that one in the near future. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about the close-up video for the Russian Red Heat Snake Picatinny rail adapter for your AK dust cover, just feel free to leave me a message here. Any comments, questions, whatnot, where you can get them at from, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have about that specific type of piece for your AK. So I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.